Anyone know that you have a conflict of interest or an interest that would give rise to the appearance of a conflict of interest? If so, let me know now.
Chairman,
Yes.
in an abundance of caution to avoid the appearance of a conflict, I will recuse myself from item 4C and 4E. Thank you.
As we begin the business portion of the meeting, I would like to remind everyone of the board's expectations or conduct at our meetings. We ask that attending today remain respectful of fellow attendees of the board. Those attending an official meeting may not engage in conduct that interferes with the rights of others to observe and listen to the proceedings. Any individual who disrupts the meeting will be asked to leave and may be subject to arrest. With that, I would like to call on Bill Roper to give further support.
Thank you, Chair Smith. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be with you today in my first board meeting as interim president. North Carolina has been my home for 22 years. Public service has been my vocation for more than 40 years. This opportunity to lead the state's finest public institution is an unparalleled honor. The call to serve is something I take very seriously, and I intend to lead over the coming months. Some of the best advice I've received since I accepted this position is simply this: I should do the job of president for an interim period, but I should not act like an interim caretaker. The issues we face are too pressing for a caretaker period. I intend to keep this system's foot on the pedal and to do so for however long this board deems appropriate. We're one of the top university systems in the nation. We can and we will be the very best. Getting there takes stability, planning, and vision. I've had the honor and the privilege to lead some great public institutions before, from the federal agency that governs Medicare and Medicaid, to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, and to UNC Healthcare here. This isn't my first rodeo, as they say. And I believe that great leaders have a three-part role. The first is to chart a strategic direction for the institution. And this board and this system have done that through the strategic plan that you all have championed. It's a plan with the strong support of our chancellors, and it's producing exceptional results. As President Spellings announced at the last meeting in December, the UNC system has surpassed its first-year targets in 11 of 12 areas. Areas like low-income and rural student enrollment, research productivity and critical workforce degrees, graduation rates and achievement gaps. We'll be announcing data showing how each of our 17 institutions have progressed further towards their own specific goals in March. I intend to carry this work forward, and I intend to continue our focus on accountability. Our strategic direction remains the same: getting more students from more backgrounds into and graduated from college, and doing so faster, more conveniently, and more affordably than ever before. If the first role of a leader is to chart the strategic direction, then the second is to deal with the external factors that can affect it. Public institutions must be accountable to the public, to the legislature, to their governing boards, to the media, to the taxpayer. And making the most of all of those relationships is surely my job. Being held accountable for our mistakes and our shortcomings is surely my job as well. And helping prevent distractions for those who do our core work every day of teaching, research, and service, that's also my job. There are a number of people in North Carolina who care about higher education, and we're very strong because of that. But we must have calm and stability, regular order and process, so that we can all keep our eye on our students, our classrooms, our labs, our hospitals, our communities. And finally, my third role as interim president is simply Management 101. It is to empower and give resources to the people doing the real work and then get out of the way and let them do their job. Yesterday, the Committee on Public Affairs and the Committee on Budget and Finance considered a strong, unified set of legislative priorities that will help ensure we give our institutions the resources they need and that we then get out of the way. And I'm encouraged by those priorities. They include a number of items designed to make this university system run better. And when leaders have flexibility, the kind of flexibility that private sector CEOs take for granted, they excel. With this board's blessing, I'm asking our elected officials to empower our system to rise to that level. I hope they will trust this board and its president to be held accountable, but to do so with flexibility to lead effectively. Our proposed priorities this year are also unique. It's the first time we've presented a united agenda with our friends and partners in the North Carolina Community College system. And it's intentionally a system-wide agenda. It's not a grab bag of institutional priorities. We will speak with one voice in Raleigh, one voice united by the need to get more North Carolinians through college and to give them the opportunity that comes with a good education and a degree. As Benjamin Franklin famously said years ago, we must all hang together, or most assuredly, we will all hang separately. I'm proud to stand with so many other leaders across this state behind the united legislative agenda, and I look forward to continuing our conversations with lawmakers about the opportunities ahead of us. The strong leaders at every level, from the classroom to the boardroom, are why we are one of the best systems of public higher education in the nation. And I'm here today having followed some terrific public servants. Margaret Spellings is a friend, a visionary leader, and a towering voice in education policy. Our strategic direction is strong because of her and her team. And I know I speak for many in our state in saying I'm grateful she helped elevate the UNC system during her time in North Carolina. Carol Folt is a friend and an outstanding leader of an outstanding flagship who has stewarded and guided her university through treacherous waters. From where I worked at UNC Medicine and UNC Healthcare, I'm grateful for her unwavering support for the cutting-edge research and work we did together in communities large and small across our state. North Carolina owes Carol a debt of gratitude for her service and commitment. The leadership bench at UNC Chapel Hill is strong. On January 31st, we will have strong leadership in place to continue that institution's progress. My top priority over the past week has been to find the right interim leader for UNC Chapel Hill. And I'll be speaking with faculty at Carolina later this afternoon and with student representatives soon after that. But right now is an important moment, and I believe in full transparency, so I want to tell you the criteria that I bring to this task of picking the next interim chancellor. First, it is an interim position. There will be a national search to come later for a permanent chancellor. That said, the interim person must lead in the fashion that I described earlier. Carolina cannot and will not drift during an interim chancellor's tenure. Secondly, this person, I believe, must be someone who is a well-known entity here in North Carolina. They must be ready to start on day one, and that means they cannot afford to spend months getting to know the lay of the land. Third, this interim chancellor must be a person of stature. Carolina needs a leader who has the gravitas to lead. We need an interim chancellor who will be able to chart the right course ahead and to push back where needed. And finally, the next interim chancellor must be someone who has the trust of our leaders and who has my trust. We're not in the business of micromanaging key leaders across the state. We have 16 other strong institutions from Elizabeth City to Cullowhee, and our state rightly expects all of our institutions to receive the attention and support they need to thrive. We're working hard to identify the right interim chancellor. In the meantime, I'm confident that UNC Chapel Hill will have strong leadership. UNC Chapel Hill has important work ahead. Finally, I want to acknowledge several people who are joining the team at the UNC System Office as part of a transition team. They are Chris McClure, Pete Brunstetter, Jim Blaine, Dan Gerlach, Bernadette Gray-Little, Charles Leffler, Carol Lewis, and Andy Willis. I ask you please to join me in thanking all 8 of these leaders for stepping up and joining the already great team at the UNC System Office during this transition period. I want to thank this board and this system again for the opportunity to serve. I've had the chance to meet many of this state's leaders over the past 2 decades, but I look forward to meeting many more as I wear this new hat as your interim president. I believe education and healthcare are the pillars that can uphold and transform our communities. I believe it's true in our biggest cities and in our smallest towns. And I believe that the chance to serve, to play a part in making an impact for the people of North Carolina is a great and noble honor. Thank you for the chance to do so. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Bill. I want to continue to thank Bill. We had a great day yesterday, and talking to a lot of members last night and today, and so appreciative of the structure that we're seeing and the discipline to move the system forward. Follow through in detail, I think, is going to continue to allow us to do great things. And so I really appreciate what you're bringing to us. Okay.